Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening, Lavlesh.
Sir, thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time. Today, I would like to interview you to understand your journey as an entrepreneur.
Okay. Sounds
S-
good to speak to you, Lavlesh.
Sir, to begin with the interview, I want you to understand the starting point of your journey, like what inspired you to start your own IT company and what problem were you trying to solve.
Well, I started back in 2008, and that was a long time ago. And I always was very much into coding and technical stuff right from college. That was kind of my calling. And right from college, when I was in second year or third year, I believe, I started doing projects for my seniors, my juniors, and then later on my colleagues as well. And I mean, it was of course for a small sum of money, but then that gave me my first kick. I can actually make money out of something, and I could be self-employed. So that gave me the confidence. And then again, once I passed out of college and had like a few years of industry experience, just couple of years, so that's when I thought of this educational institutions as the first problem statement which I wanted to solve. I just figured that in a typical school there are so many things which take up an administrator's job, and still, I mean, they're not properly done without a proper system. And that's when I figured that this is something worth solving.
Thank you, sir. Now, I want to understand your inner motivation behind starting your business.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Now, I want to understand your inner motivation behind starting your business.
Well, inner motivation is basically seeing your product, your software actually solve a real life problem and to scale it up. That is something which gives me a lot of happiness, I would say, and that's what keeps me going. So yeah, that you can say is like, yeah.
All right, sir, moving ahead. What was the biggest challenges you faced in the initial stages?
Well, initial stages, one of the biggest challenges that I faced, if I can think back, was setting a price point. Like, I mean, as I said, I was always good at developing software, being a studious person, being into tech and all. But then entrepreneurship is, ultimately it's about a business. So to build a business, you need money. So ultimately, when I went out there, I was fresh out of college. So to basically come out with a price point, like I mean, when somebody would ask me how much would I sell a school software for, so setting that up was one of my biggest early challenges. It came in through a lot of trial and error, some market study, because if you do a market study, you'll find software at all price points. Like, I mean, starting from very high, and freelancers would give you for a very low amount as well. But then
Yes, sir.
we had to figure out that, if we quote a price, then whether it would be sustainable, whether we'll be able to do justice with that price for the year-long commitment that we are making. So getting that into place was one of the biggest early challenges, I can say.
Great, sir. As you know, IT market is like very competitive.
Right.
So, how do you differentiate your services?
Well, our services differentiate based on the innovation, stability, and the service that we offer. Like, I mean, especially, like, I mean, as of today, we are into four AI SaaS-based products. Like, eSchool app is definitely one of them, which you know. But apart from that,
Yes,
we have Shramdhoot, we have SCS, and we also have VahaApp. So ultimately, the competitiveness is especially when it comes to IT, the zinc factor always has to be innovation. But then of course just an idea is not enough. Like, I mean, it's proper execution and ensuring that things they are fine for the end user also. That is the most important part. Like today also, I believe that the level of support that we offer to our customers is unparalleled. Like we have in the eSchool portfolio itself, we have our customers who've been with us since like more than 15 years. So now at this point, the process that we've established, it is helping them day in and day out. And even if their employees basically transition into other job roles or maybe other jobs, then the system but just basically works, and that works on our side also, we've developed a system where support or development staff from our side may change job responsibilities, but then it does not impact the outcome to the end user. So I believe that is like one of the biggest advantages that we bring to the table.
Thank you, sir. As you know, approaching first two clients are very difficult. So how did you do that? Did that?
Well, yeah, that was an interesting time because see, as I said, I was a tech person at the heart, and I had like absolutely no marketing experience or no sales experience at all. So, coming back and then starting off with this idea. So, approaching the first few customers, it was definitely a direct approach. Definitely, it took a lot of effort to even get a meeting with the decision maker in those times. And again, I would say it was basically persistence which paid off. Like some of my initial customers who are like still with me, I distinctly remember that I used to visit them in person a lot, and we had to have like a lot of conversations. Because see, I at that time was more like a freelancer only. Like I had no team, I had no brand, I had absolutely nothing. So, to basically get somebody, that to an organization, to trust me with their processes, with their data was a big challenge. So, I just persisted. And, in those days, again, if there was any shortcomings with the software, also, I used to just pick up my laptop and just go to the school. And I used to sit for long hours at the school, try to solve a problem. So basically, if I look back, I believe those were like my persistence and my willingness to understand the problem statement, being there, giving them the solution, showing the face value. I think that is what helped me earn my first few customers.
So it seems you faced many difficulties, uh, but like every entrepreneur needs to be a good leader. So what leadership qualities do you think are most important for running a tech company?
Well, of course, to run a tech company, you need to understand tech. Like, I mean, in your management team, there has to be somebody who understands the tech which you are delivering, right? You cannot just be a regular businessman having no tech on the management team and then just be committing something to the end user. Because, when you build a team, of course, they respect you as a leader when, you know what you're talking about, the kind of timelines, the deadlines that you set. They have to be deliverable, they have to be believable. You cannot just be going out of the way. So you have to basically to become a leader, you first have to be a foot soldier. You have to basically lead them by example. Like, I mean, they should know that if the leader is saying something, so it is a very reasonable ask, and it's a very just ask. So leading by example, I feel, is one of the things that is very crucial to this.
So you handle a lot of employees today. So like how do you handle employees and maintain company culture as team grows?
Well, yeah, that is a very good question because scaling comes with its set of challenges, and of course, you'll always find outliers. So again, we have a lot of processes in place, like whether when it comes to support or development and all, we have processes in place, and we have a company culture where juniors, they basically learn from the seniors, and ultimately we have a written documentation for everything. So, in order to maintain the culture and the processes, our emphasis is always on written communication. Like, I mean, that is one thing that also sets us apart in eSchool because, when we are communicating or committing something to our customers, it is always on a written medium so that, it's a traceable thing, it's a transparent thing when we talk about. So, I mean, it's something which we can always refer back to and get on the same page.
Sir, as you faced many difficulties, so what was one of the major setback taught you the most in the entrepreneurial journey?
Uh, Major setback, I would say, yeah. During COVID times, of course, like, I mean, it was a challenging time for the entire world. But then again, during COVID, it was unprecedented, not just for us, but even for three generations above us. Like, I mean, nobody had seen times like that. And especially, our major product at that time was eSchool. So, again, schools' revenues were being hit during that time. So again, like schools were offering free education to students for elongated period of time, and to basically get our revenue stream working during that time was again a lot of challenge. So, we ultimately, again, we trusted our innovation, we trusted our, stability over there. We added a lot of new features. Again, we infused some funds and we just saw it through. Like, I mean, we basically battled through that phase and, we came out stronger from that.
It's great, sir. I just want to ask the next question. Like,
Yes, please.
what final decision early on had the biggest impact on your company's growth?
Um, well, that is a tough question, but okay. So if I have to put it, I will say one of the decisions that we took early on was to go bootstrapped. Like, I mean, I have seen a lot of companies, who early on basically are busy chasing valuations. Like, I mean, instead of focusing on the core that they do, the value that they add to the table, they are more focused on the valuation. They are just spending a lot of time chasing investors, and even if they do get the funding, I mean, ultimately, somehow the investor basically takes the driving seat, and the innovation or the core idea, it suffers due to that. So I believe one of the big decisions which shaped us into what we are today was the decision to go bootstrap.
Thank you, sir. Just one more, just the last question.
Yes, please.
Some clients come with unrealistic expectations. So how do you handle them?
Well, again, that is true for any business, not just IT, or it is true for any business. Like, I mean, managing customer expectations is a big part of running the business. So again, if the customer comes in with unrealistic expectations, so we try to reason with them. A lot of times, if we try and break down the expectation into smaller points, then I mean, we can basically give them small wins, and probably it just solves their problem to some extent. So that helps them. Of course, like, I mean, we have to analyze the market. Like, I mean, especially when we are into IT and when we are building a product, we cannot just accommodate customization requests from just about every customer, because that won't be feasible for us or for the customer. So managing it on the support level is the biggest example, because a lot of times when the customer comes in, so the requirement might be something like this, that they have an urgent requirement. Maybe it's a results time, or maybe it's the fees time. So managing that, helping that requirement out either by software or by means of support, or giving them some sort of manpower over there, to manage that. So the idea is to not always find a tech solution to problems, but to find a working solution to problems. That's how we basically handle difficult, challenging situations with customers.
Sir, any personal advice behalf on you would like to give me, as I want to start an entrepreneur, like as I want to become an
So,
entrepreneur?
okay, so I'm assuming, Lavlesh, that you're talking about getting into a tech IT-based business, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the advice that I will give you, Lavlesh, is, focus on the usability part of it. Like, I mean, that's a very important thing. Just focus on the core idea and, get a validation early on, because I've seen this issue with a lot of entrepreneurs early on. What they do is, like, I mean, based on some random idea that they have, they start off with a product and then they try to approach the market. So the important thing is, as a tech entrepreneur, you have to remember that you're an entrepreneur first, and then you are a tech entrepreneur. So ultimately, the sale has to come in. Like, I mean, don't go out creating a very complex project, expecting a lot of money from your initial customers. It has to be very, it has to be very simple. It has to be very small, and it has to offer an immediate solution to the direct problem that the customer is facing. So that once you get started with that, you can always build on top of it, and then you can go along, as you build. So, getting the ship financially afloat is very, very important. You cannot just say that, my product is under development right now, so I'll be burning my personal money, or I'll be burning my investors' money during that time. So you have to find the fitment first. You have to try and understand the sales part of the equation first. and you then basically go deep down into tech. Because I've seen, like, personally equating it to myself, being a techie at heart, whenever I sit and think of a problem, I first come up with a tech solution. But I mean, that is something which you have to control that instinct, and think about the financial feasibility of something before getting it.
Okay, sir. It's great to have interview with you. Thank you for sharing your valuable time and experiences with me.
Yeah,
I
Lavlesh,
had
pleasure speaking to you today. All the best.
Thank you, sir.